Today I want to talk about meditation, one of my favorite topics. Because what is meditation? I use the term meditation because it's a good term. I could say contemplation or prayer. They would also be good terms. Paul told us to pray unceasingly. It's the same thing as meditating. What is it that we seek to find? We seek to find a state of mind, a state of consciousness that is receptive of truth. Now, it says in the Bible something very interesting. It says that things of the Spirit, or truth, is spiritually discerned, and the carnal mind has no knowledge of it. It's a very interesting saying. It's actually something like the natural person or natural man, it says in the Bible. In other words, not the spiritual self, but the natural self. The natural self does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him. He cannot understand them because they are spiritually discerned. That's what it says in 1 Corinthians. That's very good, very good. So, and at some point Christ said that God is a spirit. God is spirit. And they who worship him must worship him in the spirit. He said that to the woman at the well. So, spiritual things are spiritually discerned. And what are the spiritual things? The truth, with a capital T, light, that come from the light of truth, from the Father. Animals cannot discern spiritual things. Animals cannot understand principles. Animals, they have a very, what's the word to use? Short-sighted way of looking at things, and they have instinct which serves them well and is given to them by God. But humans don't have instincts. What we have is intuition. Intuition. Now, what is intuition? See, instinct is an animal knows, just like a deer knows how to run through the forest, and a beaver knows how to build a dam, instinct. The animal knows to run and hide when there's danger. It's instinct. Humans don't have instinct. That's why it takes so long for a child to grow and to learn and to what's the word you use? Yeah, to learn and to grow, to function as an adult. Animals grow up within a few weeks sometimes, don't they? But not humans. It takes years. Why? Because we don't have instinct. We have to be taught basic things. But then beyond that, we have intuition from God. Intuition. And that's the way humans, see, animals function by instinct. Humans are supposed to function by intuition. So that you know whether to turn right or turn left, whether to say yes or whether to say no. But when you face those delicate moments, with your partner or your children, where what you say makes all the difference, it's not enough just to have something memorized from a book. You, in your mind, you must have delicate, just-in-time guidance from the Spirit. Christ said, didn't he, that, he said, if they hated me, they're going to hate you. And he said, when you get pulled before the tribunals and so forth, he said, you won't speak, but the Father the Spirit of your Father will speak for you. You need to have that delicate, knowing just the right thing to do or say or not do. That's intuition. And those things are spiritual, discerned by the soul. To live and walk and have your being. Like Noah, like Enoch, like Elijah, they walked with God. See? Close to God. And you discern things in his light. And then you have wisdom, not your wisdom, not anything you learned, not anything you memorized, not anything you heard, but it comes just in the moment from him by way of intuition. Now you see how important intuition is. It's your lodestar. Without it, you're an animal, worse than an animal. Without taking advantage of your intuition, you are worse than an animal. Why? Because animals are just animals. But there's also something called wickedness or evil that operates through people. And then if that is operating through you, pride. Pride is such an ugly thing, isn't it? When people are cruel, mean, and false. It's ugly. Well, that's what operates through people when they don't operate by way of intuition. So they're worse than animals. So, intuition is what you need. First, last, and always. People like Albert Einstein, he functioned by way of intuition. He said it was very important. A lot of people don't know that. See? A lot of people don't want you to know that. The ones who make big money running the schools and the school administrators and college professors and all those, they make a lot of money by keeping people in the dark and then spoon-feeding them knowledge, see? And you can never get enough knowledge. It's like drinking seawater, you know. It never satisfies. So intuition is what you need. You see how important it is? Someone like Albert Einstein or Stephen Jobs functioned by intuition. And thereby, and they said it. If you read what they said, they talk about intuition all the time. They don't talk about education. They don't talk about imagination. They talk about intuition. See? So, intuition. So if you want to live and move and have your being with wisdom, then you want intuition. So what interferes with intuition? What is it that interferes? Why wouldn't you just naturally then walk in God's light with intuition? It's spiritual discerned. You have a soul. Your soul can spiritually discern. It's like a radio station. You tune if your soul is tuned to God's radio station, then you receive from him. But it's living knowledge, see? Which is what you need. So how do you remain close to intuition? Well, what is it that takes you away from intuition? Emotions that rise. Also, getting lost in the intellect, lost in the imagination. Reaching down into the imagination and the intellect for answers instead of looking to intuition. See? So the first thing that you need to, first you have to want to know the truth. You have to want to know it. If you don't want to know the truth, then the meditation won't do you any good whatsoever. You have to want to know the truth. And then you have to be willing to see something wrong with yourself, because the first truths you're going to see are negative ones. You'll see your own resentments and your own hostility and your own phoniness and your own falsity and your impatience and your selfishness. That's what you'll see. It's true. That's what you are. You'll see it. And if you can bear seeing it in God's light of truth, see, then you recover then in God's light of truth. So what is it that blocks you then? Well, we said that what blocks you is getting lost in the imagination, getting lost in the intellect, being willful, not wanting to do God's will, but wanting your will. Wanting to play God, that blocks you. See, if you want to play God, then you won't know God because you're trying to play God. You see what I mean? Resentment blocks intuition. But then just not knowing how to find your intuition. You've spent most of your life lost in the intellect, lost in the imagination, worrying, planning, scheming, reliving the past, worrying about the future, see, studying. So you don't even know how to get out anymore. You don't know how to get out of it. You have to get above thought to realize. So that's what the meditation helps you to do. It helps you to get out above thought. So you are in a frame of mind, a state of consciousness where you can realize truth. See? Realize truth. That's what you need. To realize, to see. Ah, I see. To get it. That's what you need. So that's what the meditation helps you to do. And then once you learn how to find that state of mind, then you have to go out in the world and hang on to it. Because as soon as you get out in the world, people will try to confuse you. They'll try to upset you. They'll try to make you doubt yourself. They'll have all kinds of issues and problems, and they'll try to seduce you and flatter you or criticize you. Or see, it's unbelievable what people will do. So you have to learn to not get pulled into it. And they'll try to create arguments. They'll try to create arguments, trying to get you pulled into it, pulled into their issues, into their stories, into their music. And see, there's big money in entertainment. Especially, see, what happens is you become guilty. So what's the proof that there is such a thing as intuition from God? The fact that you feel anxious or guilty when you don't heed it. See? And when you spend your time lost in planning and scheming and worrying and getting caught up in all kinds of things and being selfish and being emotional, and you feel a vague anxiety or guilt over it, well, that's the proof that there's another way, a better way of existing. See? But most people, they don't want to realize that they're wrong. They don't want to see they're wrong. So they don't like conscience because it makes them feel bad. So they avoid conscience. But what is conscience? But intuition. When it becomes 20/20 hindsight. See, if you always followed your intuition, then you wouldn't become conscience. So they avoid conscience. So you have to want to know the truth so much that you don't mind if it shows you that you're wrong. Here's an example. How about a math student, a good math student? He doesn't mind if the professor points out some error that he's making. Oh, I see my error. He's glad to see his error. He's glad to see his mistake because then he can solve the problem, you see? But if the math student resents the teacher and doesn't want to see his mistake, then he'll never get anywhere in math. Are you with me? So it's the same in life. At a certain point, you just have to want to know the truth more than you want to hang on to pride, let's put it that way. But like I said, having spent so much time lost in your imagination, you don't know how to get out. So that's what the meditation helps you to do. It's a very simple technique. It helps you to get out of the imagination, and then it also helps you to hang on to the imagination, not the imagination. It helps you to hang on to this higher state of consciousness, this awareness, this blessed state of mind. It helps you to hang on to it when you go out in the world and there's all the confusion and the issues and the troubles and people's meanness and their conniving and their all the stuff that goes on. It has to all just kind of pass by you without your getting pulled into it. The meditation helps you to do that also. But the other thing the meditation does, you said it extends God's light. It extends it into your mind, doesn't it? it also extends it to your body. If God's light, this light of intuition from God, if God's light, see, a plant thrives in the sun. A plant loves the sun. So if human beings were to be like Noah, Elijah, Moses, Christ, Paul, walk in God's light, then they would want to have it permeate their being. See, so for the mind, it brings wisdom, enlightenment. It brings peace of mind. See, and how about for the body? It also brings wonderful things to the body. The warmth and light of the sun is good for the plant. God's light contains love and truth, and it's good for the body. Okay, so the meditation teaches you how to extend it to the body by becoming aware of your hands. Aware of your hands till you begin to feel a mild tingling in your hands. A mild tingling, like a little buzz. Very mild. Okay? Now, you go out in the world. There you are. Let's say there you are in the world, and all of a sudden here comes somebody that knows how to press your buttons. It's like a teacher that you had. Some teacher a long time ago that was mean and upset you, made you all upset and fearful. So here comes a person just like that. Well, now, instead of becoming upset, falling into the imagination, running away, so on, you just stand there, and you're aware of your hands. You feel a mild tingling in your hands, and it composes you. It keeps you safe. Now, that person no longer affects you like they did. When there's a moment that arrives where you have to be able to deal with someone, one of your loved ones, properly, and in the past you've become impatient with them, or they're difficult. You know, some people are difficult. Maybe they're not bad people, they're just difficult. Now, instead of becoming upset, when you're talking to them, at the same time you're aware of your hands. It keeps you reminded of God's light and of truth and of love and of patience and long-suffering and so on. And it gives some of it to you, and it gives some of it to your body. And your body has plenty of issues, doesn't it? From not having lived rightly and from being stressed out by the things on the outside. See, the meditation seals you off from that. So your body, because of the tension, because of the extremes, because of the emotions, and so on, your body has been under stress and it's got issues. So God's light is good for your body. You extend it when you go out in the world. Now, do my hands always feel tingly? No. Can I become aware of my hands and automatically make them tingly? No. Sometimes they don't. Even when I'm meditating, they don't become tingly. But I'm aware of them, sort of tingly. But then all of a sudden, when I least expect it, I feel that gentle, mild tingling. And it reminds me of all that is good. It reminds me of God. It reminds me of my proper place as an observer in life and of someone who speaks the truth, see, with a little bit with patience. And it reminds me of all the wonderful things that I realize in God's light and how He's helped me. It kind of just reminds me of that. You know, didn't Paul said, if there's anything beautiful, if there's anything lovely, if there's anything good, like that, something like that, he said. Then he said, think on that. Instead of thinking on all the negative, bad things. So, if I notice my hands and then they become a little bit tingly, it's a gift. That's the other thing. It's a gift. I can't make my hands tingly. I just become aware of them, and then they become tingly. At that moment, maybe, maybe not. Maybe 8 hours later, all of a sudden, it's a delicate tingle. It's a gift. It's light. It's warmth from God. It's like a spiritual embrace. It's a gift from God, from His light to you. It's very beautiful. So, meditation is very important. You should get my meditation. I have a free one. It's very good. So, what are you waiting for? Get started. Get ready to receive your gift from God. And light for the mind, warmth for your body. My name is Roland.